Hey guys, we're live. Whiskey Watches and Wheels. Matt's not here today. He's working hard, and so it's just us three today. So I apologize for technical difficulties last week, but James told me to turn down my mic.
The special reserve got you.
Yes, exactly. Yes, I was drunk, but I'm drinking it again tonight, so we're in for a good show. Introduce you guys.
I'm Casey.
I'm Kevin.
I'm still Casey.
That's Kevin. That's Casey, and I'm James.
Perfect.
Yes.
We've done it 80 times and still perfect.
Yep. And you know what? I've already started drinking, so we're ready to go.
Go.
So since we're already drinking, what's everyone drinking today?
Ooh.
I got some Frank August from BBC. Really good stuff. Really like the bottle. Really, really slick bottle. But the juice is really good as well.
Where's the bottle? Do you have a picture of it, or do you have it online?
I can grab it. Give me
No.
one sec. Okay. Just
okay.
joking.
Go ahead, James.
I'm running low, so I just opened up this little bottle here of Jameson Black Barrel.
There you go.
You know, I seem to think you drink a lot of Irish whiskey more than bourbon, huh?
A little bit lately. I've been out of it a bit, so the lower alcohol content, it's not as harsh. So I've just been enjoying that when I do partake.
It's those cold barrels.
Yeah. So it's super smooth, non-offensive. I think it's great.
So, and I'm drinking what I've been drinking for the past month.
Weller.
It's almost.
He's a weeder.
Oh.
He's a weeder. This guy has figured out he loves rye and wheats.
I don't like rye.
You damn liar.
I think I am going to open up the Barnestown Rye Origin Series next time, because that was my favorite one at the tasting. So I'm going to try that and see. And I got an extra bottle, so I don't have to open up my autographed one. What are you guys wearing to watches today?
I'm still wearing 007 because I'm a man of mystery.
Wow, that's not a mystery whatsoever.
No, it's not, is it?
So lately, what's been consistent is Casey's watch and Kevin getting hammered.
Yes.
I think that's a great combo.
Okay. I'm wearing a Seiko, go figure. But this is the gift from Kevin that keeps on giving. So it's a Seiko 8T6300T0. So,
it's a cool looking watch. I wish I would have got one for myself.
You see this? I changed the band out.
Yes, I did see that.
As you always do.
The band that it came with was a bit harsh, right? So it's a little bit stiff. Mm-hmm. Not that that's a bad thing, but I softened it up here with a used band. So I think it's a great watch. I think it's super sharp, and it comes in multiple colors. If you can track it down, check it out.
It's good looking.
Yeah. Nice quartz.
And I am wearing I have it here. I got my camera working again. 1969.
Regatta.
Yep. Changed the band to red. It's a little small band, but it's an awesome little watch.
Is that rubber? A rubber band?
It is rubber. Yep. And it's reference number, let's see if I can read this with my old eyes, 1669-6050. It's from 1969, February of 1969. So I love that watch. Like, I get a lot of compliments on it, especially with the red band, and I have my red shirt on, so I had a match in my red Vans. So as my daughter said, my fit was looking good today.
Yeah, the beauty of that is that there's so many colors involved that you could switch it out to a blue band or any other band, and it would still look great.
And I get a lot of people that they're like, hey, what kind of watch is that? Just like right off the rip. First time was when we went to Gator Crawl, James, you and I, 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Somebody right at the, not even on our event, was like, hey, what kind of watch is that? So I get a lot of compliments on it, and I really like it.
Well, at the next Gator Crawl, we'll have to wear the exact same watches the whole time.
That'll be cute.
Yes. So today we're going to talk about a lot of things, but we're going to start off with some news about dealerships. So I'll kind of lead off a little bit of what I've read. Scout Motors, who's going to be a new company, has urged the Department of Justice, DOJ, to eliminate franchise laws blocking direct sales. And they're actually a part of the Volkswagen Group subsidiary, but Volkswagen's actually, I guess, suing them along with some other companies. So they're saying that they want to sell their upcoming Terra pickup and Traveler SUV direct to buyers once production starts in 2027. So this is going to bypass the traditional approach of dealerships in the traditional dealership network. So there's been some pushback from the dealer associations, such as, believe it or not, Florida and California. And they're saying that they're going to violate franchise laws, which I didn't even know there was actually franchise laws. So they want to do their structures independent from VW, and they should not be subject to legacy rules. However, the NADA remains firmly opposed, and they're fighting it as well. So I was talking to my graphic designer about this, and James, I'll let you tag in because I know you got a lot to say. Tesla kind of does the same thing. Like, you don't go to a Tesla dealership. You go into a mall. Yes, it is a dealership. The price is what the price is. Like, I've shopped them when they first came out. And if you guys remember, I know it's still a dealership, but Saturn used to be the same way. We don't haggle. This is the price. So they got some pushback.
They had dealerships. They had brick and mortar.
They did.
Saturn did.
So Tesla doesn't have this big conglomerate. Like, you walk into the mall, you do it, and they have a service center. And remember, too, I think, was it Kia or Hyundai was doing the stuff on eBay?
Both. Not on
Amazon,
eBay.
Amazon.
Yeah, that was Amazon.
What do you guys feel? Do you think they're just going to set the price? And what's your guys' take on this?
I don't know if they're going to just. Well, it doesn't say anything in here about setting the price and non-negotiation, does it?
No, but how you're going to deal directly with the factory. So I think the price is the only model is going to be this is what the price is. You order directly from the factory. You go on their website, pull it up.
Yeah.
And either you pick it up at a drop-off center or it gets delivered to you.
Right. Well, for me as a consumer, I think it would be great because, you cut out a lot, right? So hopefully that trickles down to the price. But, as auto dealerships go, they employ a ton of people, and there would be certain impact on that if Scout was able to break that model. That would certainly change a ton of things, right? So how did Tesla get away with it? I'm not quite sure. I'm sure they were on the fence as far as skirting some of the laws, I would suppose, but it's worked for them. But
because you still have to go into a mall, and technically that is still a dealership, right? Or you still have to go somewhere. But, they already have the financing right there on the website. I mean, let's face it, most of the money that's made at a dealership is not
markups.
It's the markups and at finance. Like, I buy my cars cash, and like I tell it, and hey, I'm not here. I'm here just to buy. And they get so pissed off, and they still, and I'm like, I know you got to go through it all. Just go ahead, go through it. Yep. Nope. Nope. And let me talk about, how about this? Nope. But
the wheel package. What about the wheel package?
Exactly. And in fact, that the Porsche one, I got the wheel package. Come to find out, it doesn't cover. So I bought it because I was like, hey,
it's useless.
I have aftermarket Manti wheels.
Yeah.
So when I read the fine print, or one of our buddies, Chris Olson, told us, hey, read the fine print. It doesn't cover it. Doesn't cover the carbon fiber wheels. Doesn't cover magnesium wheels. Yeah. So it's shit.
Yeah.
So I had to take it off.
For here in Charlotte, all the dealers use the same repair shop. So I just go directly to the repair shop, and they'll deny it in the first place. So why bother? I learned my lesson years ago on that one.
Well, I love this idea of no dealership. I love the idea of going direct. I think you cut out some of the middle, kind of the middleman. You get straight to the manufacturer. I don't know if, although the dealerships are manufacturer, I don't know if the education level of the people you speak with or their websites educating people would become better.
But when was the last time you went to a car dealership other than probably Porsche? That's right. You don't buy new.
We're not, well, number one, I don't buy new. Number two, we're not normal people. We're car people. We know more than the salesman.
Okay.
We're not normal.
Even the car people these days, they're 20, 23-year-old kids, 25-year-old kids.
They're not buying cars.
They don't know shit about the cars. I mean,
you don't think a salesman knows shit about the car either.
Right.
I mean, they can tell you about the package level, but any 22-year-old, 25-year-old that's buying their first car can sit down on the computer and figure out trim levels on the computer much better.
I'm saying the salesperson. Like every time you talk to a salesperson, they don't know. They're just there. They're like, oh, They're an order taker,
right?
Yeah, they're just an order taker.
So I love the idea. I think that a lot of people do not enjoy the process of buying a car.
No one does.
Because of this model. I don't know if it would change pricing. I doubt it. I'm sure the manufacturer would just take that additional income on.
Is that what you think, James? You think that the pricing?
I do. They may say that you're saving, but no way. If they can squeeze the maximum amount of profits, they will.
That's what they should do.
And
I'm all for it.
Right. And then on top of that, you remove the whole dealership level of service and all of that, and they're saving how much money, right? So I know that Tesla, when they have their dealerships, when we have one here in Charlotte, which by the way is just a sea of those goofy trucks to theirs, right? They just sit there. They're just, But anyway, I know that they employ a lot less people as a whole compared to a traditional car dealership.
I think that Scout in this specific case study is actually onto something because their car is supposed to be so modular. You're supposed to have a billion different options that you can, individual options. Like, do you want speakers in the damn thing? Do you want electric windows, roll-up windows? Do you want, whatever? Their option list is supposed to be expansive. And if you just have a bunch of check boxes, you can go through bam, 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 bam. This is what I want. No discussion, no package levels to discuss. Oh, you premium level, you have to get this add-on option. The base level, you don't get this, that, and the other, whatever. I think that actually makes things better. I do like the idea that, as you mentioned, Kevin, the Kia and Hyundai thing that went on to Amazon. I think buying a car should be easier. Why does it take a half a day to purchase a fucking car, especially when you go in with cash, as you said, Kevin? My experience last purchase was buying the Cayman for Ashley, and that still was a friggin' nightmare. Buying in cash, and they're still like, oh, we'll take off $2,000 if you just finance it. You can pay it off after 3 months, so your cost is actually less.
Yeah.
I don't want all that shit. I just wanted to buy the damn car. And I if it takes that away, I'm all for it.
Well, isn't that amazing that you would think that would be music to their ears? I'm walking in, I've got cash, I want to be out of here in a half an hour, right? What papers do I need to sign? Just hand me the fucking title and I'm out, right?
Because I can move on to the next person, right? And get them.
Yeah, exactly.
Time is money, and time's money for everybody. I mean, even when I'm on my Toyota, same thing. Oh, let me talk to this guy. Oh, let me talk. And it's always the same, James. Like you and I buy new cars. It's always, you're dealing with this kid or this guy or this girl, and it's always, I got to talk to my sales manager. It's like, how about this? It's like, stop with the game. Enough with the game. Just sell me the damn car. Sell me what I want. And I also do agree with Casey and you, James. I think people are getting more educated now. They know what they want. Like, this ain't 1960 anymore, where, hey, sit in this, and look, it's got the ashtray. I mean, it's really, for one, I also think cars are more of just a necessity, and unless they're like people like us and probably our listeners.
Yeah.
Right. But for most people, the Ultima drivers, Toyota drivers, Camry, stuff like that, it's just, even the BMW and the Mercedes drivers, for the most part.
It's a toaster.
It's literally like, here it is. This is what you got. Because of the crisis that we've had too, a lot of times you can't even buy a car with the accessories that you want anyways. It's going to be, this is what we got.
You're not, no one is speccing a car unless you're going to a Porsche dealership, right?
And
everyone else is just getting whatever is on the lot. Hey, you know what? I wanted this color, but this other color had more of the options I wanted, so I'll take that. And I'm out of here in 6 hours.
It's 6 hours, exactly right. And I do think that if the dealership model won't go away, as you were saying, Kevin, just if Scout and Tesla want to do this, or maybe, I don't know, Porsche has a little kiosk somewhere where you can buy off-the-shelf cars that they have available, great. But if you're a tire kicker and you want to go to a dealership and you need to sit in an Altima or a Honda Accord versus a Camry and you need to test drive it or do whatever, that's not going to go away. I think that model is so built into like society that ain't going to go away.
Yeah. I mean, even with the Saturn, I remember that the Saturn was the same thing, not to interrupt, but it was more of like, hey, I still had to go in. And it was like, no, I want this. And the guy was like, I mean, this was in 95 too, when they were first coming out. And he's like, no, I'm sorry. That's not how we do things. And I was like, for me, I kind of still wanted to have that Like, let's barter shit. And I was like, oh, well, that's what the price is. And they were expensive. The Saturn was
bored,
very expensive.
Right? You go in there almost defeated, right? And, CarMax, they still do that. The no negotiation, the price is the price, and you buy it or you don't, right? So it obviously can work that way. It just didn't work for Saturn. Maybe they were just ahead of the time a little bit. But so
when it's working for Tesla, right?
Right.
In general.
Yeah. Yes. So I did a little research here, and it looks like that there's about 1.3 million people employed at the traditional dealerships across the country. So as far as job risks go, if there were a minimal shift as far as these dealers adapting to it a bit, it'd be a 5 to 10% reduction in force, right? 65,000 to 130,000 people.
Yeah. Negligible.
How many?
65,000 to 130,000 jobs would be lost with just the minimal shift, right? So kind of think of rolling out a few more brands of Tesla, right? But then as far as a moderate disruption where the direct sales coexist with the hybrid model, you're looking at a 15 to 30% reduction in jobs. So that's 195,000 to 390,000.
I just don't foresee that happening. I foresee, now I don't know shit, right? But I would think that a lot of these dealerships would stay in place, and you would end up having, as you called them, Kevin, a kiosk in the mall that is almost self-sufficient.
I think, that's the moderate disruption there, right? But if you were to do
it's
your
addition.
full, right. So it's a hybrid model, right? You have some of the traditional, but then you also have some of these, like you're saying,
and that would be for like a Ford dealer and stuff like that, which kind of a segue a little bit.
Well, let me just get the last.
Okay, go ahead.
Let me just do the last stat here. For if we blew up the whole model and it was full direct sales like Scout is looking to do here, you're talking about a 50 to 70% reduction, which is 650,000 to 910,000 jobs.
Yeah, so that would be a lot.
That would be a lot.
Yeah, I just don't foresee that happening. And if you all know some sales guys, I read Reddit on this car sales forums and whatnot just to stay abreast of what's going on. These guys are a lot of them are transient employees. Like
wherever they can sell the most cars, they're going.
Yeah,
right?
They move back and forth, move into car sales, move out of car sales. So I don't think that a lot of those jobs are at risk of being terminated. They just kind of change what role they're
playing. Well,
but
like James said, though, if it goes away altogether, because I agree with you, Casey, because it's not even that. It's the finance guys. They move around. Even the mechanics, they move around. The mechanics are probably the least, but they still do move around. So what was the first number you said, James? The
5
10%?
to 10%.
Yeah, 5 to 10%, then 15 to 30, and then 50 to 70.
Okay,
right?
So Porsche what did Porsche just say? They said, hey, their CEO seeks fresh cuts, warning business model no longer works in post-Trump new China world. They're going to cut more than a tenth of their staff by 2029 for the whole world, not just for the United States. So I'm wondering how many people they actually employ, because that might be closer to the moderate number if you're talking the world. And they're going to go from 250,000, or they're going to go from 311,000 cars to 250,000 cars, which they achieved 311 last year.
Product number, yeah.
Yeah, so that the 250,000 cars, that was kind of the number that they were typically at, and then that has surged. And I believe that surge was that whole post-COVID and entry into China. And now
China's gone.
China is
moved on.
China's moved on. One, I think maybe the whole world is maybe tired of the big small world, and the nationalism is coming back with a vengeance. So that's part of the reason why Chinese are buying their own cars. But I do have a little graphic here.
Well, while you're pulling that up, I think that Porsche's been through this. And I think that if anybody has been fairly nimble over hard times, Porsche has proven that they can get through shitty situations pretty well, or at least decently well. But a reduction of 10%, I just don't think is that significant worldwide. And, their base pricing, they keep increasing and people keep buying it.
Which they did. They are increasing their pricing.
Oh, yes. So real quick here, we have this comparison chart of what the Taycan starts at versus the other two leading EVs out of China, right? So the BYD, $34K to start with. When you have a Porsche Taycan, just 105, and you know that comes with nothing, right?
Yeah.
What,
So,
the BYD comes with nothing, or Taycan?
The Porsche Taycan, right?
Oh, correct, right.
So part of the draw here is that these Chinese EVs come with a ton of infotainment and tech, right? So we all know, we're all Porsche people. We know how shitty the Porsche tech is, right? It looks great, but try to use it and it doesn't really work great. But when you're talking about range, look at the maximum range there, 317 miles on a Taycan, and then you have this Neo going in at 419. That's 100 more, right?
Well, I will say that I purchased Neo stock many years ago and cashed it out and made a shitload of money. It was a good buy. But these things, I see them as only moderately relevant, rather other than showing the contrast of the technologies and what's available in China, because these aren't available here. They are available, at least the BYD is available in Europe. I don't know if Neo is. But what's the likelihood of these things coming stateside? I think probably next to nil, probably because.
Okay, go back to the graphic. Let's go back to the graphic. Yeah, exactly. Because you can still get that Neo, even with the other one, at a 50% tariff. And that's still going to be cheaper than a Taycan. Look at that. So $68,000. That will be still cheaper than a Taycan. I don't know, it doesn't look as cool, but even the Neo at $116,000. And let's face it, when was the last time you see a Porsche Taycan? That's the starting price. So let's say that and with the tariffs, and you know damn well that China's always, we'll just take some, if they did decide to come down here, we're going to knock off all, because they got tons of profit. I mean, they're paying their workers $30 a month.
Well, so my pushback on that would be, and again, I haven't ridden or sit in one of these Chinese cars, so I don't know. I've seen some of Doug DeMuro's videos on them, and he seems to think that they're all right cars. But I think the buyer for a Taycan versus a BYD or a Neo is completely separate, regardless of every price and the range.
Elaborate on that, Casey, because every Taycan owner I know is a lady, mom, soccer mom. It's not a performance person. So elaborate a little bit why you think that's.
I know only one Taycan owner. Is a surgeon. He bought it for performance and for fun. He lives only 25 minutes away from the hospital. He is coming partially down interstate, and it's a great vehicle for he and his wife and two kids. But when you think about who goes and buys a Porsche, James just left us. Who goes and buys a Porsche? Like you buy into Porsche because you want a certain level of what is the right word? You want Porsche for all those things that it does, like the touch points, the feels that it gives you. Now, granted, it's a Taycan, it's electric, so it lacks soul, which is so much of what Porsche is. But like you sign up to get a Porsche for reasons other than price, and those are things that the BYD and Neo are not going to give you.
So, I say that
this is not Taycan. A Macan buyer, I think is different. Okay, the Macan is meant to be their entry-level Porsche, and I think that buyer, especially the EV version, is a completely different buyer than a Taycan or a Cayenne or a 911 purchase.
And when James comes back, though, I know a lot of Macan owners and Cayman owners, not Cayman, but Cayenne owners, their husband has a 911. So that is the
that's they still like them.
Right. That's what's going to keep, or the husband's like, hey, we're going to buy I'm going to buy an SUV, but it's going to be a Porsche SUV. Correct. Now that Taycan or whatever, how you say it, everyone that I know, and I know 4 people that have them, they're like, not even Porsche people, not even car people, but they are snooty, kind of like, hey, it's a Porsche. Like, they're kind of getting into it. Do you know anybody that's, and maybe James would probably know some when he comes back, that have a 911? Because let's face it, if you got a 911, you're most likely going to be anti-EV.
I agree with that. And that's what's interesting is that if you're a true EV buyer, the Taycan is I think, your worst option.
I agree.
Right? Like the range is the worst. We know the infotainment system is not the greatest. The whatever maintenance that you're going to have on an EV is going to be much more expensive. So if you were just EV, Taycan's got to be the lowest on that list.
So
and
James,
so that's why I don't see them as comparative cars.
I agree. So James, we want your feedback on this. He only knows one person. I know 4 people that have the Porsche EV. I said, hey, if you have a Porsche 911, you're not buying a Taycan. If you have, and then he said that like starter cars are Micon, and I said, I disagree. Most people, the guys has a 911 or came in and then they buy it to their wives because, hey, their wife needs a car. So that's, do you know any Taycan owners, and do they have 911s? And you're one of the people that has multiple 911s, so you have a Micon. What's your take on that?
Well, I think there's different levels of the Macan. So just the base models, those are the grocery getters with the moms, right? So if you go to the S, it's typically, closer to the a car guy or car family, right?
And your car hauls ass. Like, what do you have?
And then the GTS, I mean, that is a proper Porsche through and through. So I have an S, and I think, it does great. But as far as the Taycan goes, I don't know anybody that has one. I know that typically they may be forced on you as a gateway to get your GT3, right? And same with the Macans and the Macan EVs. None of that stuff is moving at all, right? It's just sitting there. And that's part of the problem why Porsche has to reduce all their staff, is because they shot for the moon with the EVs and they totally missed it. So,
well, to that point, though, I think they were kind of forced, governmental forced.
Yeah, and I think every one of these manufacturers is paying the price unless you started out as an EV manufacturer, right?
Mm-hmm.
So,
I agree. I agree 100%. But I like the graphic for what it showcases. But I don't know that our government, especially the current administration, is not going to let those cars in. So give it another, 3 years if there's a change in ideology. Like maybe those cars would be allowed in a BYD since it's in Europe already. Like I said, I don't know about the Neo. But I just don't see that the buyer, even tariff or not tariff, that the buyer for Taycan versus a BYD is the same person.
Well, not here.
No, I would agree.
Not here.
Let's face it.
Right?
No.
I wouldn't say that here, but
right.
As far as China and the way the numbers are going is that they were buying those Porsche EVs. And then once these Chinese EVs hit mainstream on that end, they just took off. So, it comes down to value for money. That's worldwide.
Yeah. And our cars aren't jumping ditches and whatnot like the Chinese cars are, right? You seen those videos where the car literally like hops over speed bumps and potholes? So
no, and I've seen that they go over the in the water, and I mean all the way up to these are electric cars too. I mean, that's the one thing here in Florida. When we had the storms, they were catching houses on fire, garages on fire when we had the hurricanes. Yeah. I mean, these cars are going in like up to the roof, and they're not doing that. So the only person I think that's really going to, let's face it, the only main player in the EV game right now is Tesla, right? So if I was him, I wouldn't want those cars to come in. There's no other, I don't think personally, everyone's either discounting the shit, i.e. Porsche, and they're discounting the crap out of their cars.
Well,
so
if you look back to the early 70s, right? And we had our big old American cars that were 22 feet long, and we had 1-inch gaps between the doors and such. Then all of a sudden, these little Japanese cars showed up. And once that gas crisis hit, everything changed. And those Japanese cars were built better, worked better, lasted longer. And we had a shift. And that shift was the American manufacturers had to adapt and come up with better cars, smaller cars. And it's the same thing. If you open the market, I know Casey would 100% agree with this. If you just open the market up to full competition, which we don't have, obviously when the EV market is propped up with kickbacks from the government, that's not an open market. And then if we're excluding manufacturers, that's not an open market. And yes, I understand we have to protect our manufacturing. However, competition also breeds better
It's a
vehicles.
positive. I think it's a positive thing. It makes it for the consumer. It's definitely positive because it makes like you said, James, makes a better product. I mean, Honda's known for one of the best reliable products out there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and look, back in the '60s, nobody wanted them.
Right.
I mean, so I definitely agree 100% with you, James.
And then you had the '70s, and then in the '80s, you had the American manufacturers kind of hitting their stride, and the quality went up, and we all benefited from that. So why not do the same thing with the EVs? May the best EV win, because we all know that the Tesla may be the best because it's available to us, but is it really the best?
But if a BYD and a NIO can kick its ass, then let's get it over here and force Tesla's hand to get better. That makes our lives better. But I think to a continuation on this point is article out by, this one's from Kelly Blue Book about the cafe standards basically being made illegal or unconstitutional or rolled them back, whatever you want to call.
Speaking in 70s.
The Trump administration... Yes.
We're going back to the 70s, baby.
Basically sunset these things.
8 miles to the gallon is the new goal.
But if you're going to say and argue that competition is best for the consumer, which I think all three of us would, I also don't see the cafe standards. I don't see as necessarily being the end all be all to helping the environment, and I'll tell you why. Because people are better educated today. We all understand that combustion engines and whatnot put out carbon monoxide, etc. And people actively seek out, lower emission vehicles, i.e. Tesla, i.e. the Taycan, to not only have an experience with the vehicle, but to help out the environment, right? And now a normal car, average MPG is something like, 32 miles to the gallon or something, I believe, something kind of crazy. Whereas in the 70s, as you said, James, it was like 8, 6.5, whatever a Ford F-150 would get you. But now you have people, these manufacturers actually competing on things like MPG. Then you have us on the other end of the spectrum that just want something fun, which ends up being such a small amount of vehicles sold overall. So the overall standards have risen exponentially. And I think that having a government that is forcing the hand of manufacturers has proven with the EV push over the last several years to hogtie manufacturers and end up actually hurting them in the long run, even in the short run, to the waves of politics. And we can't, in my opinion, have companies waffling back and forth on their direction. They need to be focused on what they're actually doing and not be influenced so much by politics, so that if Honda wants to be the highest MPG manufacturer out there, go for it. Maybe their interior qualities suffer because their engine quality goes up. Porsche over here focuses on engine power output. Then you have Ford focusing on trucks. Whatever these companies want to focus on outside of the government regulations.
Ford, they focus on recalls.
They do focus on recalls. But before we get to that, what do you think about these EPA rules, CAFE standards being rolled back? And do you think that it actually matters?
So can you elaborate what the CAFE standard is?
Well, I'm not a CAFE standard expert, but it says...
No, but what are you... I don't know what you guys are talking about, so that's why I asked.
All right, so the CAFE standards basically dictate... it started off as the California, Clean Air Act or some bullshit, CARB type deals.
Okay.
But where manufacturers have to hit the emission standards at idle, at 30 miles an hour, over sustained throttle inputs. You can't have. That's why we have caps.
It's fuel
on
economy.
Cars.
Right? It's fuel economy.
Can you? There you go. Fuel economy. You came back to life. Basically, yeah. Fuel economy and output.
So James, let me ask you a question, and I'm not picking on you at all. nowadays it's $60 to fill up a tank of gas, but we're getting 30 miles to the gallon. When you were first driving, say gas was whatever it was, say under a dollar, was the ratio to income about the same because gas was cheaper, but you only got say 10 miles per gallon? Or do you feel that you get more bang for your buck in these cars? Because I do remember when I used to travel and it was like 99 cents, $1.20 something when I started driving. And I mean, I had a Volkswagen, so I can't.
It didn't matter.
And I don't even know if Volkswagens are good.
It polluted a lot, but you got good mileage. I mean, those cars, a Beetle.
Yeah, but I had a bug. Not everybody drove bugs, but let's say you're 240 or 280, or the cars that you saw out there when you were first driving, James. Mm-hmm. Do you felt that they were still getting the same ratio for their money spent to their money traveled?
Gosh, that's a hell of a math. That's a hell of a math problem based on the cost of living and the inflation and such. So I'd have to pull out the old Google calculator there to figure out that. But I do know that,
and that could be for our next. That could be for next podcast.
Right. But
give us an Excel spreadsheet year by year.
But I do remember when I was a kid, and this is before I was driving, when the gas crisis in 73, I remember sitting in the passenger seat with my dad, sitting in line to get gas and such. So I think that was the trigger. The second, when gas was essentially free, no one cared about miles per gallon. Who cares? It cost me $2 to fill up my car.
The gas was not, it was free. I know during the gas crisis, it was just hard to get gas, but was gas expensive or was just lack of gas?
I would say I remember in 1975 going on a trip. Oh my God, I'm just dating myself here so bad. But summer trip where we were paying about 55 cents a gallon in New Jersey. But when we got up near Boston, it was 70 cents. And I just remember the dads going, oh my God, 70 cents a gallon, this is insane. So
okay, I just looked it up real quick. Sorry to interrupt, but the gas went up about 43% in price.
Oh,
on average. So that's like, what is it, $4 a gallon right now? That'd be like going up to $6 a gallon. That would be a substantial hit to everyone's budget.
But we're getting 3 times the amount of miles MPG now.
Right.
True, but I'm just saying to his point, like. You asked if it was a big hit and noticeable. I mean, that would be a substantial increase if you were on a family road trip.
Right.
Okay. So what's on the next topic?
Okay, what did we say? That was the CAFE standards, and then what did you say, James? The Ford recalls.
Oh yeah.
694,000 vehicles Ford is recalling over fuel injectors.
Over a time frame of?
Let's see. Affected vehicles include 2021 to 2024 Broncos, the Bronco Sport, rather, 2020 to 2022 Escapes, with the 1.5 liter engine. I don't know. That's what I see in this article. Did they sell that many of those vehicles? Holy shit.
Well, the other thing too is
crossover SUVs.
Okay, you got 3 years and 2 years or whatever. That's 6 years worth of cars. How many? What's the percentage? Because we all know what clickbait is, right? So, what's the percentage of all of those cars that they sold over that has any? Is it 10%? Is it 1%? Because it could be
get this shit. The U.S. National Highway Safety Administration estimates that 0.3% could be defective.
See,
0.3%. 0.3, and you're recalling 700,000 vehicles for this shit. Unbelievable. Yeah.
That just goes to show you. I mean, we're talking about Porsche making 313,000 cars in a year. I mean, and we've talked about this before, how many cars Ford and Chevy pump out. Yeah. It's just, and I would wonder, I know China just started getting, but I wonder what the European, what their numbers look like. Because, we live in America, so we don't know anything about Renault, Peugeot, Fiat really too much. Yeah. I'm wondering if, Fiat used to be called Fix It Again Tomorrow, Fix It Again Tony. I wonder, what their numbers are, because we just hear about America. And I know Volkswagen is huge I would say in the European Union.
Okay,
so
here, a quick Google search says Renault Group. Renault Group. I don't know what all brands they sell or they own. Okay, well, they as a whole group they only sold 2.2 million cars.
Wow.
So the Alpine brand 4,600. Yep. The Dacia DACIA brand, less than 700,000. Renault brand 1.5 million for a total for the Renault group 2.3-ish million total cars. Wow. So there you go. So not that many cars really. I mean, especially for the Alpines 4,500. I mean that's a micro brand. But anyhow, back to the Ford thing. An estimated cost of $570 million. I mean, wild.
Drop in a hat for them, right? If they're selling, I mean, millions of cars, right?
That's
and what
why
percentage of people actually come in?
Right, and that's why it was worth taking the chance, right? They probably knew that shit was defective, and they said, maybe 40% will come back and get it done.
Maybe.
Right. So it makes sense to put it out there.
A lot of these cars are going to be on their second or third owner by now, right? I mean, you're looking at a 2021 that's 4 or 5 model years old of a generic crossover SUV. 2020 to 2022 Escape. You know those things are pieces of shit. Those have changed hands probably 14 times. I mean, how do you get a hold of people for them to even know that?
I mean, James, how many times have you got a recall? I got one for a BMW, and I was like, I haven't had that car in like 5 years.
I don't even own it.
Like,
yeah, exactly. Yeah, it still happens.
Like, how did I even get that? Like, exactly. Right. So, and I'm sure it's happened to you kids. You probably get one. You're like, oh,
I don't. I move. The ex-wife gets them all.
Oh, okay. Well.
So speaking of more losses, Stellantis is losing their ass again and is probably going to close up shop. Do we have anything more to say about that? They suck.
Bye-bye.
Who is that? Who are they?
Stellantis. What do they have? They have Chrysler. They have Alpha. What else do they have?
Well, everything broke apart. Like, Chrysler sold their Ram here, sold their Dodge here, because they used to be, is that what it used to be part of, they kind of pieced themselves out?
They've broken off a lot of things, but they have Fiat, Maserati, Ram, Jeep, Alfa, Peugeot. There's your Peugeot.
Jeep is the only thing keeping them alive.
Crichton, they have Jeep. Yeah, and Chrysler. We know Maseratis suck, right? All they are is a Ferrari rebadged engine, and the rest of the car is dog shit.
It's not a Ferrari. We had one, and they even used to say the only one that was the MC Gran Turismo, I think it was. So that was the only one, and it wasn't even. I mean,
so
I
Ferrari
do remember
doesn't
ours.
Build their engine. I thought they build
they
their
do.
engines.
No, the salesman tells you that. But they used to tell. Yes, they used to tell you that the Quattroporte used to be not the same. Then it was like, the Ghibli, not the same. The only one that I remember that was the same was the what I just said, the Gran Turismo was.
Okay,
yeah,
great.
That was the only one that shared similar. And I will tell you, because my wife owned one, the Dash in the entertainment center was all
It's
Chrysler.
awful. Yeah,
it was shit. But but if you look at some of the other cars, like the MC1 or something, that's a badass car. Like, I mean, I don't know. I like the old.
Well, I'll never own one, so I don't really care. But Fiats, we know, Fiat really doesn't exist here anymore. Ram and Dodge. I don't know if you all keep up and watch like some of these mechanic Instagram pages and whatnot. They've got wild problems on transmissions and such on their newer stuff. Really bad stuff. Jeeps, we know, have always been a piece of shit, but like people just love them. So I don't think that brand will ever go away.
I don't get that.
I don't either. Like I think the idea of Jeep is pretty cool, but none of them are ever been any like good.
And that's the thing is, like, the public is telling these manufacturers, please produce shit. We will buy it. As long as it looks cool.
I'm going to tell you guys exactly
what it gives me lifestyle. It becomes a lifestyle brand, right? Jeep is with those fucking ducks.
I'm going to tell you what Jeep is. Jeep is the Harley Davidson.
Yes.
Of
100%
motorcycles.
I love that. Yes.
100%. That's the Harley Davidson 1980 technology or 1800 motor with a 1980s fuel injection. Yeah. That is their transmissions are terrible, their electrical is terrible, their engines are shit, but they don't even make a standard Jeep anymore, by the way. It's all automatic.
Yep.
But I mean, my neighbor has one, and she's got all this purple shit all over it. And
Yep. It's the customizer's like dream.
It's the
right?
PT Cruiser of the.
It's the PT fucking Cruiser. Instead of getting dressed, to use your Harley analogy, in your pirate outfit, you get to go buy ducks to put on the fucking windshield.
It's the
Jesus
ducks,
Christ.
right? The ducks and the wave, the 2-finger down wave, right? Right. So it's like, if you're a Harley guy, you have to have a half helmet. If you've ever seen somebody with a full helmet on a Harley, you will get knocked off your bike, right? And then just
and they ride like shit. Like I rode one in West Virginia when I was up there with my CPA. They are terrible riding. Like I was getting sick. I was like, this rides like dog shit. And he was like, yeah, I know it's not the best riding.
Yeah, but look at my ducks on the dash. So I'm cool.
This article states that North American sales dropped by 25%. They're blaming it on slower adoption of new models like the Ram EV, because no fucking truck person wants a fucking EV to go 12 miles when you're towing something. Hoovy, I don't know if you all watch Hoovy's Garage, but Hoovy did that with the Ford F-150 Lightning when it first came out, and he couldn't get from one place to another towing a car, whatever. But like, this is the stuff that sucks. Anyway, Chrysler's tried to die before. They've been bailed out. I think the similar thing's going to happen. They need to spin off these brands and really let them be their own companies. And if they're going to continue to follow the EV path, I think they're going to fail. So let them fail. Jeep sucks. All right. What's next? Corvette, the ZR1X, which I know none of us are real fans of the way this thing looks, but you have to admit that the tech going into this engine and the power it's putting out is pretty fucking amazing.
Yes.
1,275 horsepower. It's coupled like the Porsche GTS with the hybrid engine, right? So, it's doing kind of things that our favorite brand is kind of going to. But this article is saying this is not the end of the line. I don't know what the hell else they could do, but what do you think about this maybe not being end of line, or just the idea of 1,250 horsepower in an off-the-shelf car?
Wake me up.
I mean, how much horsepower is too much horsepower, for one?
Yeah, wake me up when there's the recall.
I don't know. There might be a recall. I do know. So I follow the Vitor P1 tire, the Chinese tire that's come into America. The guy's name is Dallas. He has a ZR1, not a ZR1X. But what Chevy has done with these things is basically said that they have the 100,000 mile powertrain warranty, and they're truly warranting this thing. He had 7,000 miles on his. It threw a rod, and they looked up. They said, "Oh, you had your first oil change here, which is like at 1,000 miles. You weren't due for your next oil change until 10,000 miles, which is wild." All right, you all know how I feel about oil, but they're like, no questions. We put a new 7,000 miles, put a new engine in it.
So, what do you guys think the Corvette is like? The Corvette, do you see that as a road car or as a drag car? Because we all knew that like the Dodge Demon was like a drag car. So I think a Corvette's more of a road and a track car, right? Would you guys agree with me?
Are you referring specifically to this ZR1X? Or
no, just Corvette in general, because I hear people say they're supercars. I hear people say they're road cars. They're not. I don't ever see a Corvette really at the drag strip, so I definitely think it's a road car.
I think Corvette is so Americana. I have not seen one out on the track. Right. I see them on the interstate, and I see them around town. I just don't think that the
cars and coffee.
Most 99% of the buyers, this is just like, the guy with, it's still the same buyer. It's the guy with New Balance. And you're going to get, one every once in a while that understands that, holy shit, this has a 1,000 horsepower engine, and this can kick ass on the track. And I'm sure it does fine out there, but it's just not. It's not a track car because people don't drive it like that.
And I'll tell you where you don't see them.
Go ahead, James.
Where you don't see them when it's raining out. No one wants to drive those cars when it's raining.
No, and that's the other thing too. Let's face it. I mean, Porsche, if they wanted to put, when they had the GT2 RS, that car was 700 horsepower, 6 something, and they said that if you didn't know how to, this is professional drivers saying you can only drive that car to its full potential if you're a professional driver. Who the hell is going to drive a 12? How much power is too much power? Like,
I do think that's a question, and I think that I've listened to several podcasts on, while I'm driving and whatnot on this subject, and I do think that, I've only driven a few cars more powerful than my current 911, so, take what I say maybe with a grain of salt, but somewhere in that 400 to 500 horsepower range for a normal person, especially on the street, is all you need. Like you can get super stupid if you want to get super stupid. It's 0 to 60 is fast. Like, you feel it. You can be in illegal territory in 4 seconds
or less.
Even if you're in a manual transmission, right? On track, it still is performance beyond your belief, right? Like it can still do everything. What do you gain? What you gain is straight line speed and corner exit speed, right? Because the brake technology on a Porsche or a Corvette is about the same, right? Like you still have to go a certain speed through a corner. We're talking about tire, limits. So what do you get? You get corner exit and you get straight line speed. And I'm sure it is a wild thrill. I have never felt something like that. All I've felt is, like a Model 3 acceleration, whatever that is. But it's got to be wild.
It's all relevant, right? So somehow we got through the 70s and 80s with our wicked fast 911s with less than 200 horsepower, right? Right. I remember
215.
Right.
Yeah.
So I had a Lexus IS 300 when they first came out. So that's 2001. It had 215 horsepower. That was a lot compared to the rest of the public. 215 was a lot. So I would say that 300, you could have all the fun in the world with 300 horsepower. And you can get that in almost any car at this point.
I do think that the problem that we're running into is build standards. All the cars are getting so heavy that you have to increase, horsepower to get to that horsepower weight ratio. But I do agree to the overall statement. I mean, my old Miata, whatever that weighed, 2,200, 2,400 pounds, had 250-ish plus horsepower. That was a wild time. Again, you could get really stupid, leaving a stoplight. If you want to do just uncontrollable donuts, you could do that. But you can do that in most any car anymore, right?
Right.
Like, and so I think that we have kind of hit, in my opinion, limit. I mean, I'll take a 1,200 horsepower car. I think that'd be a blast.
It's just showing off now, right?
Am I going to buy that? Yeah, it's kind of just unnecessary.
Yeah.
I can't drive that well. Right, I can't drive to the potential of my, whatever my 911 is putting out now. So I think that you're going to put these in a bunch of geezers' hands. They're going to drive it to Cars and Coffee, and they are going to put their lawn chair out in front, put a plaque up, and say, this was one of one because it got the special flag on the back.
And on
Although
that note,
Porsche people do that too.
Yes. On that note, I will say this. I will be driving a Tesla Cybertruck for 1 week. My buddy got one. And he's coming from a Ford Raptor, fully loaded.
Oh, he's going to hate this.
No, he loves it. And I think I'm going to love it too because, I don't know, he's like, man, I tell it where to go. And I don't even touch the steering wheel. He has all the bells and whistles, so the full auto drive and everything. And I'm like, I'm probably gonna.
Does he give you a hand job while you're riding it?
Probably, and I mean, he got it wrapped too because he didn't want it to look like so he got it wrapped in off white, like a satin white. I'm like, Yeah, I told my wife, I said, Aaron, I think I will probably fall in love with this car because she yells at me all the time for texting and doing everything else. And
doesn't matter
only
what
because you
color.
guys know I make.
It doesn't matter what color. You're still going to look like an asshole.
That's right.
I don't care. I'll be looking at my cell phone anyway, so it don't matter what people look at me. I'm like,
are we allowed to do one more article? Because I had two more, but this one's a way bigger.
Sure, I've already had my dinner, so I'm fine.
All right, good. What about Toyota dropping BMW for their engine build? Thoughts, concerns?
I mean, they only it was only one
Supra.
car, isn't it? The Supra, right? So
yeah. That's what I mean.
Are they not doing the Supra anymore? Because aren't they phasing that car out? They're dropping it, aren't they?
No.
No. So what are they going to put in it now?
Their own Japanese spec engine that's supposed to put out be the same sort of 4-cylinder turbocharged 2-liter. Put a hybrid in it, still pumping out. It says 400 plus horsepower, but it'll just be Japanese rather than.
I mean, they
German.
make a 3-cylinder that pumps over 300 horsepower in that little Corolla. So yeah, make it all themselves. Like who?
Yeah, that's my take as well.
That's great.
You know, this article. Go ahead, James. I'm sorry.
I'm just saying that's my take as well. I think part of the downside of it was it wasn't a Supra. It was half a BMW. So why would you do that with your pinnacle car using somebody else's motor?
Yeah, I agree. I think they did this to test the market and see if the Supra would work again and kind of offset some of that risk onto the what was that engine form, the Z4 or whatever. I do think that if you look back at the Supras that were produced, the 2JZ, what is it?
2JZ and 1JZ.
Yeah, thank you. The Japanese, we know, overbuilt that engine for a reason, right? They advertised a certain amount of horsepower that it produced much more than. That was horsepower wars during the 90s. I don't see why they can't do the same thing again. Produce an engine that is bulletproof, that tuners love. If you want a following, a cult following, which the Supra already has based on those 90s cars, then why not kind of up the ante, do it again in a modern car, and allow tuners to come in and have a wild fun with this?
Because the Skyline's gone. Nissan's not doing Skyline anymore, so now they're going to be, king of the hill.
Exactly right. They will be the Japanese tuner car, and overbuild this thing and let people have fun with it. That they'll turn their head and they'll deny all of it, just like they did before. But I think it's a great idea. I think the BMWs don't tune as well as we know, and let the Japanese get their hands on it and overdo it. I think it'd be great.
Agreed.
What's your other article?
The last one I had was the 25 most memorable cars of the last 25 years, which I think would be.
Save it.
Jesus. That's what I'm saying. We can do it another time.
I read that article. Okay, we save it. It's not a good one. I guess.
No, the article is not good, but the conversation we can have about over the last 25 years. So since the year 2000, I think that could be fun.
Next time.
As long as Matt doesn't talk about PT Cruisers.
All right, guys.
Although it's memorable.
Mission Matt.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's it, guys. I appreciate you guys listening. Hopefully we'll have Matt and all four of us here. We'll see what our work schedules look like. Thank you guys for listening. Soon, whatever. I don't know. I'm like 4 or 5 drinks in. So, James, do you have anything in closing?
No. Great job, Kevin.
No would be a no.
That was perfect. All right. Good night.
Good night.